I warned my daughter, if you invite your boss to your birthday, I'm done. Those were the last calm words that left my mouth before everything in my quiet, elderly life blew apart like a house of dry leaves in a storm. I never imagined that a simple boundary, one tiny plea for respect, would push me into the kind of revenge I never thought myself capable of. But here I am, 75 years old, telling this story with trembling hands, a steady voice, and a heart that finally feels free. Let me take you back to the beginning, back to the moment I realized that the daughter I raised with my own two hands had chosen status over the woman who carried her, fed her, saved her, and loved her. It started last summer, on a hot, unforgiving August afternoon. My daughter, Denise, called me, her voice brisk and sharp, as though she were rushing me through my own life. "Mother, remember my birthday dinner on Saturday?" She asked, though she knew I had already bought a dress for it, already baked her favorite lemon tart, already wrapped a hand-stitched quilt I'd spent 6 months making. I had done too much, as always. I said yes, of course, I remembered. Then she dropped the first bomb. "I'm inviting my boss." Silence poured through the phone like cold oil. I swallowed. Her boss. The woman who had been belittling Denise for months. The woman Denise worshipped for reasons I could never understand. The woman who treated me like a relic the one time we met. I took a deep breath and said, slowly, "Denise, if you invite your boss to your birthday, I'm done." She laughed. Actually laughed. Like I was a silly old hen clucking at shadows. "Oh, Mother, don't be dramatic," she said. But I wasn't being dramatic. I had spent 75 years learning when someone was about to disrespect me, and I could feel the disrespect brewing like thunder. I told her I needed her to choose. I needed her to at least pretend I mattered. She brushed me off, changed the subject, and hung up before I could say more. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, wondering when I had lost her. Was it when her father died? Was it when she got her big corporate job? Was it when she learned that money and status could buy her better attention than I ever could? I didn't know. What I did know was that I was tired of being treated like a burden in the life I had built for her. Saturday arrived. I wore the pale blue dress I had ironed twice. I carried the lemon tart carefully, keeping it balanced on my knees in the cab. When I reached the restaurant, a high-end place with more marble than warmth, I felt small. Invisible. Denise greeted me with a peck on the cheek, barely looking at me. "Mother, sit over there at the corner table, please. My boss will arrive soon and I need to greet her properly." She placed me at a tiny table near the service area, where waiters rushed by with trays of cocktails. I looked around. Everyone else was seated near her. Relatives. Friends. Co-workers. I was alone. And then she arrived, Miss Corporate Ice Queen herself. Denise's boss. Tall, sharp-eyed, dripping designer labels like she sweated money. Denise ran to her, grabbed her hands, hugged her like she was welcoming royalty. They chatted excitedly while the boss shot me a quick glance, her lip curling into the smallest, coldest smirk I'd ever seen. A smirk that said, "You don't matter." My daughter didn't introduce me. Didn't acknowledge me. Didn't even glance at the table she shoved me into. I watched as the boss handed her an envelope, and Denise squealed like a child. They hugged again. I sat there, holding the quilt on my lap, the one I had stitched until my fingers ached, the one I thought she would treasure. But I could already see it, she would barely look at it. She would toss it aside. She would thank her boss more than she ever thanked me. And I felt something inside me snap. Quietly. Cleanly. Like a cord being cut. I stood. I walked to her table. Denise looked annoyed. "Mother, please, I told you to stay seated." I placed the quilt in front of her. She barely touched it before flipping it open with a distracted glance. "Oh. Nice. Nice. 6 months. 6 months of sewing. 6 months of love poured into every square. Do you like it?" I asked. She shrugged. The boss smiled tightly and said, "Homemade things are quaint." That was it. That was the moment my heart hardened into something new, something unbreakable. I straightened my back, lifted my chin, and spoke loudly enough for the whole table to hear. "Denise, I warned you, if you invite your boss, I'm done." She rolled her eyes. "Mother, stop embarrassing me," but I didn't stop. Not this time. "I'm done," I said firmly. "And you will feel what that truly means." I walked out. I didn't look back. I didn't cry. The revenge didn't come instantly. Revenge, real revenge, is patient. Calculated. Precise. Denise had always assumed that because I was old, I had nothing. No strength. No resources. No power. She forgot that her entire life still stood on the foundation I built, financially and otherwise. I had been supporting her quietly for years. Paying half her mortgage. Covering her insurance. Sending her funds whenever she overspent. She believed she earned everything herself, but she didn't. She never had. When I came home that night, I opened my filing cabinet. I pulled out documents she had forgotten existed. The mortgage agreement with my name on it. The insurance policy listing me as the primary payer. The savings account I funded that she believed was just company contributions. I spent the next 2 weeks moving pieces. Quietly. Carefully. Legally. I sold my share of her house to a private buyer, a man who had been waiting years to own property in that neighborhood. The documents were airtight, she couldn't stop it. I canceled the insurance she had relied on. I closed the savings account and transferred every penny back into my own retirement fund, because I had earned that money, not her. When Denise received the notices, she called me screaming. "Mother! What did you do? Are you insane? I can't afford this. I'll lose the house." I listened calmly, stirring my tea. "You'll figure it out," I said. "You always treat me like I'm nothing. So let's see how you live without the nothing you depend on." She cried. She begged. She threatened. I didn't bend. Meanwhile, her boss, oh, that glorious woman, unexpectedly played a role in her downfall. Denise's performance faltered as stress ate her alive. She made mistakes. Big ones. And guess what? Her boss didn't comfort her. Didn't support her. Didn't encourage her. Instead, she reprimanded Denise in front of colleagues. Assigned her worst projects. Cut her bonuses. Eventually, she fired her. Denise called me again, this time not screaming, but sobbing. "Mother. I lost everything." My voice was quiet, steady, strong. "You lost me long before that." She begged me to come over. I refused. She asked for help. I refused. She asked what she could do to fix things. I finally answered. Respect starts at home. She didn't speak. She only cried, and for once, her tears didn't move me. I had given her everything, even when she gave me nothing. And when I finally asked for the smallest scrap of consideration, she trampled it. So I walked away. I started using my savings for myself for the first time in decades. I joined a senior travel group. I took a cruise. I enrolled in dance classes. I bought myself a comfortable little apartment near the ocean. I lived. I lived without fear. Without guilt. Without being taken for granted. And slowly, I felt lighter than I had in years. Denise still reaches out sometimes. Quiet messages. Apologies. Small attempts to connect. I don't hate her. I don't resent her. I just don't trust her. Forgiveness, maybe. Reconciliation, no. Not yet. Maybe not ever. She will have to rebuild that bridge from her side. Brick by brick. Respectfully. Patiently. Genuinely. And as for me? I am 75, but for the first time in my life, I feel like a woman who finally stood up for herself. I warned my daughter, if you invite your boss to your birthday, I'm done. She didn't listen. So I became done. Not with my life, but with letting anyone, family or otherwise, treat me like I'm disposable. And to anyone listening to my story, here is my final message, spoken from one old woman who has seen too much and stayed silent too long. If they don't value you, show them how deep the consequences of your absence truly go. Some lessons can only be learned when the person they took for granted finally walks away.